Are you gonna do the clap thing, or you
Oh
always
yeah,
want to do it?
I'll clap. I'll clap.
All right, go ahead. Whenever you do the clap thing, you always do this thing where you mog for a second, you mew, you're like, oh, like if at any point I actually ever captured the moment right before you clap, but then you just go back to like not mogging or mewing or whatever it's called, and
What do you think? Is Lulu mogging right now?
Lulu's always mogging.
She's a mogger. She's a mogger girl.
Yeah, Lulu's always mogging. Anyways, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's me, the Lou D-O double G,
And me, real slim Katie 25.
and you're listening to
Geek, Gourmet.
Oh baby, lots to discuss for this week. Wow, lots of Comic-Con news, lots of leaks, lots of things announced. We saw Deadpool, which at this point it has been out. Yes, it has.
Yeah. Oh, our video's been
Our
out for like
reviews.
a
So
week.
if you want our like full in depth, like point to point sort of review of it, please go check it out. It'll be linked in the description below. Yeah. So
Yeah.
wow, there's a lot that
First
happened,
of
a lot
all,
of feelings. But go ahead,
Deadpool and
you start.
Wolverine. We both loved it. It's certified crispy. As per
Yeah.
this channel.
Yeah.
Pretty epic. I don't know what
Pretty
our rating
epic.
system is anymore.
We'll
5 out
just
of 5
keep it with
burgers.
we'll keep it with crispy for like the top, like certified rotten, right? We'll say certified crispy, and then
Yeah.
maybe like we'll find like something that
Crispy or
isn't.
food poisoning? I don't know.
No, I was thinking like maybe slimy or like
Oh,
moldy
slimy. Sticky.
or
I love
yeah,
sticky, though, so we
sticky.
can't do sticky.
Yeah, you are sticky, so
Crispy or
I don't
mushy?
think that would. No, because mushy isn't gross enough. Because I mean, like you want mashed potatoes to be mushy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would almost say moldy, but I mean
Crispy or
like that kind of.
moldy, it's
I mean that
but
could
it's
be
kind of
like
rotten.
exactly.
They kind of
So
stole
we
our
gotta.
food theme.
So I mean, what's the opposite thing of crispy? Would you say like
Would be mushy.
just I guess moist or mushy?
Uncooked.
That doesn't sound
This
like
is just not
grotesque
cooked.
enough. That doesn't sound grotesque enough. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is not an
Drop in the
conversation
comments
for
below what you think our
the
rating
opposite
terms
of crispy should be. Yeah.
our rating term should be. Anyways, Deadpool and Wolverine was fantastic.
Yeah.
Lots of cameos and amazing stuff. Yeah, you should go check out our video on that. But we haven't gotten a chance to talk about it. I made a video, and like hour-long video detailing news from Comic-Con.
Video.
But Louis,
it was your stream.
my
stream.
stream.
Yeah.
So if you want details on that, go check it out. But Louis, we haven't talked about it. What do you think of everything that's happened this week?
Well, okay. Let's just like go down the line here, and kind of start with the biggest thing,
which is obviously
Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom.
I was gonna be shocked if you said anything else.
No. I mean, like, there's a lot I want to say in regards to what I think is gonna happen, but let's start with the like casting, right? Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on RDJ being Doctor Doom?
I have seen a lot of videos on this being like, wow, classic Marvel to try and make money by bringing back stars that already exist. But here's the thing. They also announced this weekend that these two movies, Kang Dynasty, which was renamed Avengers Doomsday, and Secret Wars, are being directed by the Russo brothers, the same directing team that brought us Infinity War and Endgame. So I think if they have a reason for this, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust what their vision is for this, because they have not steered me wrong yet.
Sure.
So I believe that. I buy into it. A lot of people were pissed, though, online that he's going to be a replacement for Kang, because they're like, imagine being a hardcore fan of Doctor Doom and like having him brought in to replace Kang as like a last minute sub. But anyways, my assumption is that either we're going to be dealing with some kind of a timeline thing, or some kind of it's a Tony Stark variant that has evolved into Von Doom. Because I'd be really surprised if they casted him and like everybody's like, wow, he looks a lot like Tony Stark, and then they don't talk about it, you know? I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm of two minds, right? Like I'm gonna go with my initial reaction. My initial reaction being that I saw this, right, and I was like, "This is dumb." Like that was my immediate
Yeah.
reaction
No, me
towards it
too.
because I was like, there's just like no way.
The first 30
Um,
seconds, I was like,
there's just no way that they're doing this. Like, what for? Why?
yeah.
Here's my thing. I still half of myself still very much feels that way. Um, I would say like moving like thinking more critically about it. I'm like, well, like thinking more critically about it. I'm like, okay, so this is obviously like a Tony Stark variant who is Doctor Doom, or like I would assume is Doctor Doom.
Right.
Thing being that like we're bringing in these anchor points thing, right? Where it's like,
Right.
who this person is this world's anchor point, and blah 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 blah. Um, and in addition to that, like I think that adds a lot of questions, but also potential answers to things, right? Um,
I feel like you're right. I think anchor points is gonna be big. I saw this interview with Kevin Feige being like, and this interviewer asked him was like, so if every like universe or timeline has an anchor being, then what do you think
mm-hmm,
ours is right now? And then
yeah,
he was like, huh, if that's the question that this film left you asking, then I think you're asking some really smart questions, which to me was just a really
yeah,
heavy implication that this idea
yeah.
is going to lead us pretty heavily into what's coming next.
So anyway, so back on the RDJ thing, I'm gonna get to that because I think we're gonna have a long discussion about Secret Wars coming here soon, especially because I know a lot about it, right? And I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are as well.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, thinking about RDJ, it makes sense within the world just because they are like, oh, this is a Tony Stark that turned bad or whatever. Um, but you know, it also feels it'd be hard to say it doesn't feel like a cop out because they recasted Reed Richards, right? Like, but they didn't recast Kang, so it's like, where do we draw the line between fiction and like contracts? You know, like what matters
Right.
here? You know, because I if they were like, oh, we are recasting Kang, cool, no problem, don't care. That sounds good to me. But
Wait, why would
because
they
they're kind
recast
of
Reed Richards? Did I miss something?
Multiverse of Madness, it wasn't Pedro
Oh,
Pascal. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
no, I understand. In my mind, that was just that was a different timeline entirely.
but that would be a different multiverse. But you understand what I'm saying? It's
Or
getting confusing
it
because
is.
Scarlet Witch is in fact like the same person, right? And Charles Xavier is the same person. But then I guess, now that I'm talking about this out loud and I'm thinking more and more, Henry Cavill was Hugh Jackman. So like I don't know, in
I think
Deadpool,
I think they're
yeah,
opening this up to be like, hey, anything is possible because the universe that we know is not the only universe, and it's also not the only place and time in this universe. So it could be 1,000 different things. So I think they're literally like, in a way, kind of using that as a cop out to cover their ass with whatever.
yeah, sure.
So I agree with you with that. I think we're getting a
It's a
little
little, it's a little
too
confusing,
much.
and then you could say the same thing about Quicksilver, but not really, just because that was before the Disney Fox blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it still feels a little bit like a cop out. But like you, I'm gonna keep an open mind and trust the Russo brothers. I mean, they they have nothing but hits, and say
Same
what you will about
screenwriter too.
say what you will about Endgame, but like it had some really great moments and stuff like that. So,
Wait, who has trash to talk about Endgame?
oh, dude, I know a lot of people who have trash to talk about
Who the
Endgame.
fuck has trash on Endgame? I thought
I
Endgame
don't.
was like indisputably the best Marvel movie of all time,
No, I don't even
in
think that.
everybody's opinion.
No, I don't
You
even
don't
think
think
that.
that?
Fuck no, absolutely
What the
not.
fuck do you think is best Marvel movie?
I think there are other Marvel movies that are much better. Here's what I'm gonna say about
Okay, name
Endgame.
them.
Hold on, hold the fuck up. You're not even you're getting so juiced over what? Over absolutely nothing right now. Infinity War, first of all, is much better than Endgame, and I'm gonna stay with that. I'm gonna stay with that. You know why? Because when I watch Endgame, I'm sitting there for like an hour and a half, bored out of my fucking mind over what's going on. Absolutely, I am. The last hour, fucking great. The last hour is the best part of that whole fucking movie. I was in tears because that is 10, 15 years culminating of something, finally getting to this point. Also, time travel, felt like a cop out.
Time travel always feels like a cop out, so I understand. I understand why you say that. And they're like, we just have to
It
go
always
back
does.
and
It
fix
always
this.
fucking does. Like and it's always going to me.
Okay,
Which
I
is why
respect that.
the Infinity War saga, just in general, was never really my favorite. And I've said this before, but like I would have preferred Age of Ultron. Couple of like I would have preferred
Right,
Ultron
more
have
time
been
with
like,
that.
well, just because it's more home and it's less like, I don't know. That's just.
You wanted to keep the conflicts within the planet and not
Well,
like
yeah,
extraterrestrial, or
that would have been interesting to me, more interesting, just because Infinity War. I feel like it makes Secret Wars not feel that big. You know?
No, okay, I understand what you're saying, because it's also like we have all of these movies where you're just trying to get to know the character and you're getting to know the enemy and you're understanding why there was a conflict there.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets off of the planet, you have to not only understand the character, this new character, then the different
Right.
cultural and planetary dynamics, what happened to bring us together today, the history between that, how they're even fighting physically. Like, it does add a
Exactly.
lot of complicated things. So wait, real quick, tell me about
Yeah.
Secret Wars. I haven't read it.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah. The first thing you need to know is that there's two Secret Wars, right? The first one came out in 1984, and the second one came out in 2015.
Okay.
The main baddie in the 1984 one is the Beyonder, who's a cosmic entity, right? Who sees Earth 616, and then like I think the Ultimate Universe. Anyway, and he's like, "Oh, let's have them fight because like whatever." So
like them versus the Avengers.
So let's have all the people from like these respective universes, and they choose. He chooses, and they fight each other on a dimension he calls Battle World, or world he calls Battle World. And then they fight, and then that's basically what it is. Have you ever read or even watched Ultimate Spider-Man? It's a
like the animated show.
The animated show, yeah.
Yeah. Not
So
all
in
of
the
it, but
last,
I've seen episodes and stuff.
in like the last season or two, it's the Contest of Champions, which is a bunch of different Spider-Men coming together and fighting, kind of in something similar, but it's the Collector. It's the Collector.
Now I've heard of the Collector.
Beyonder. Well, he was in the Guardians movies. He was played by
right. What's his face?
I forget his name. He had Howard the Duck in his thing. Oh my god, what's his name?
What's the guy's name? The guy with the eyes.
It was
that guy.
It's in my brain, and it's
Jeff Goldblum?
It's evaded me. No,
that's what's his name. That's the other guy.
Jeff Goldblum. So the Collector is Jeff Goldblum's brother. Like in the
No, I'm trying to remember the fucking.
I don't remember the actor's name right now, and we cannot do this right
now.
now.
Let us know in the comments.
It might even just come to me while we're talking, but anyway, so the Beyonder. So then they fight, and whatever happens, right? In the 2015 version, which I think that them changing it from Kang Dynasty to Doomsday makes a lot of sense, because Doctor Doom is the villain of Secret Wars in 2015.
Gotcha.
And so Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange, and then another character, I can't remember who it is right now, all make Battle World, right? And they act as the guardians of Battle World and things like that. And so Earth 616, and then presumably whatever Earth 1003 maybe is what it is, are colliding, and they're about to destroy each other. And so in order for both the universes to survive, one of the worlds needs to explode and die and shit. And so they're like, well, if we escape and go to Battle World, they the Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe, and the Reed Richards from Earth 616 universe make a pod, and then they like go to Battle World, and then like shit happens, right? But Doctor Doom is in fact the villain and like the king of Battle World.
Okay.
Um.
Okay. So here's what I'm taking away
So
from
like
this.
there's a lot going on there.
There's a fuck
right?
ton here.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
okay. First of all, Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange being the like gatekeepers of Battle World. And
It's
I swear, on
them two and one
God,
more. I can't remember his name.
on God, you can ask Dylan Strickland, bless his heart, who's too sick to be here right now.
Yes, he was
Will
supposed
be
to
a future guest on podcast. He knows this. You know this. My dad knows this. My brother knows this. That I have been saying clearly that I think Doctor Strange is going to be one of the new big bads because of the last 3 seconds of Multiverse of Madness, where it's clearly not him, and he wasn't acting like himself like the entire movie. And then at the end, they reveal that eye on his forehead, and I said the entire movie that I don't think that's the Doctor Strange we know. I've been saying it, and I'll say it again. And I'm just calling it right now that if that really is the case in the comic Secret Wars, I think they've had that set up for a long time. Second of all, Battle
no,
World,
that
I want
makes a
this
lot
to
of sense.
happen. I want Battle World to happen so we can have a
well, I
Super
mean, that's
Smash
what-
Bros.
That's exactly what Battle World. I mean, that's exactly what Secret Wars is, right? And actually, I did miss a very pivotal part of the of explaining this, but
Okay,
Doomsday, Doctor Doom, what the fuck?
Doctor Doom's
Usurps the Beyonder.
Okay,
So the Beyonder is in charge of Battle World, or creates Battle World, and then Doctor Doom is like, you know what, I'm in charge now, and kicks his ass and basically
eat it up.
all that stuff.
So
but
then,
yes,
do we
Doctor
think
Strange,
that maybe Tony Stark from this alternate world or Earth 1003 or whatever has become Von Doom?
Oh, 1610. Sorry, it's 1610.
1610. I was gonna say, don't they
1610
reference
and
1003
in
in
Deadpool,
Multiverse of Madness or Deadpool or
one of them, I think. Yeah, which is why it was in my brain, I think.
gotcha.
But yeah.
Anyways, wow.
Yeah.
So a lot's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Secret predictions, Louis. Who do you think is gonna live in Secret Wars? Now I'm just way more interested in this than anything else.
Okay. So wait, before we move forward on that, there's something I wanted to point out that I've been saying from the beginning, ever since I was like, there's nowhere to go. I think I said this maybe on the podcast or maybe on a stream or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, after Infinity War, there's nowhere to go other than Secret Wars, right? Like the next step that makes the most sense is in fact Secret Wars. I've been saying that there's this great comic called Deadpool Secret Wars that happens while Secret Wars is happening. So when and if there is in fact a Deadpool 4, it should be Deadpool Secret Wars. Like 110%, it has to be Deadpool Secret Wars. Like,
interesting.
It's a mini series, so they have a beginning and end to a story. It's very obvious on like what happens. So like in it, Wasp accidentally
I don't give a
erases
shit about
everybody's.
Wasp.
Hold on, but I mean,
That's
we'll just
my hot
in the
take.
comic, right? So I don't care either. In the comic, though, Wasp accidentally makes everybody forget who Deadpool is, and he ends up like being a stowaway on in Battle World, and then he has his own Secret Wars that happens within the secrets. That happens during Secret Wars. So he's doing his own fucking thing, and he has these beautiful, long, luscious locks. He doesn't have the cancer. Like it's super funny.
Like nice pool.
Anyways, that's yeah, literally. I think yeah, quite exactly that. Yeah, and he anyway, I'm not trying to give away too much just because I want you to read it if you haven't read it. Those of you out there who are listening, but I am so hoping and so like predicting that they're gonna make a Deadpool Secret Wars.
I hope
after
so.
Secret Wars comes out, though.
Because I do believe they're folding him into Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because there was this like interview talking about like, how do you fold a rated R character into a family movie? And they're like, that's the challenge, isn't it? Like, so maybe that's their way of going about it. Maybe that's their way of going about it. I mean, it's there, but it's not there.
I think what's going to end up happening, and this is now going back into the overarching predictions, and I'm saying this surrounding Deadpool. So we did read we had some rumors, and who knows if these are true, we read some rumors that the anchor being for Earth 616 is Tom Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and the anchor being for the other Spider-Man, Toby and Andrew Garfield, their anchor beings for their universe. Logan is obviously for the Fox universe, and then like so
Right.
on and so forth. My prediction is that and then Reed Richards is the anchor being for the Fantastic Four universe,
Mhm.
whatever. That actually might be 1003. I don't know. Anyway, my point being is that they're gonna fight Doctor Doom, and at the end of it, they're gonna notice that they're on a collision course. Doctor Doom is trying to destroy one of the universes, one of the worlds, and they're gonna notice on the collision course, and then they stow away to Battle World, and that's where Secret Wars begins. To the fight for for their worlds, right?
Okay.
In doing so, though, I think at the end of Doomsday, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Avengers
The
Doomsday
Avengers
and
movie?
then Avengers Secret Wars.
At the end of Doomsday, fucking Deadpool is gonna get McFucked, and then like stow away in Battle World somewhere the fuck else. They're
Mhm.
gonna have Secret Wars, and then he's gonna show up at the end of Secret Wars, be like, guys, what the fuck just
I
happened
honestly
right
think
now?
it works really well because so I don't know if you've seen, but in Avengers Campus in Anaheim, they have
Yeah,
introduced like a Deadpool story time as a way to fold in the Deadpool character on their
yeah,
physical resort properties, and they've got some really fun stuff, some really clever wordplay, some really clever writing with innuendos that go over kids' heads, but that still feel raunchy, right? And it's awesome. Whoever's doing it down there is killing it. But there is an element of like, man, if he's just not absolutely the most vulgar person in the room, the meanest person in the room, there is a sense that I'm missing there. Like it doesn't feel like he's being completely himself. So I
yeah.
feel like maybe the way to fold him
Which is
in
why I
is
think
he's his own thing.
is to not fold, and that's what I
Yeah.
think. I think it has to be like that. Like, and that's a perfect way to make it happen.
I mean,
Marvel,
he has
hire
to be
me.
the main
I
character, right? Like
He
he
has
just
to
feels like
be,
a character
and
that has to be his own main character.
I don't think that and you know what, they could really fold into like, if all they have to do is figure it out for one movie. I really think they could figure out the whole like um vulgarness and blah 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 blah
Good
for
writers.
one movie,
Yeah.
and then just and see when Secret Wars happens, he's not there.
I mean, I don't
For
give
the
a shit. I can
big
see
movie.
him and Wolverine on his own forever. That's what I want. But can I say
And
something? When you were
honestly,
talking,
yeah, go ahead. Hmm.
I feel like a fucking idiot. But it all clicked into place. Deadpool and Wolverine finally clicked into place for me. The way that he was the anchor
Why?
being for his universe, and
Yeah,
that him leaving is the official death of the entire Fox cinematic universe in terms of Marvel. And that is
yeah,
them like officially closing the door on everything there forever, because him leaving and not going back means it will all collapse and die. There's no re-entering that. I can't believe I didn't really like grab into that until right
right.
now. Like
Yeah.
I knew, I'm like, yep, we're saying goodbye to Fox, and I'm like, oh shit, no, they're all fucking gonna die because he's left. So literally, they're all gonna be dead. There's no way to go back to that. That's so, man.
Well, I mean,
Wow,
that
that's the whole
I would
point. I
say
just didn't get. I just
yeah.
didn't click
Well, I mean,
fully until
like
right now.
that could also be the reason why we have our two universes that are about to collide, right? Like I don't know.
Right.
I guess we'll see. I'm assuming that's what they're gonna do with Secret Wars, but also like they changed things for Age of Ultron, they changed things for Infinity War, so it makes sense to write it for the universe that they're in. Considering Multiverse of Madness, considering Loki, considering like all these
Right.
1 million things that they've done, which I think will be interesting,
And if we're
and
talking
it's
about like
exciting.
in terms of what is Marvel's biggest weakness, is they get convoluted between these two places of making movies that you can watch with no context, right? Making movies that you need no background to watch, that any like Joe Schmo who's never read the comics or seen the movies can go in and have a great time and they understand everything. Versus a movie that's so steeped in story and also like entertainment drama that has like led this to be its own thing that you really have to understand contextually for the movie, and finding a sweet spot between that, because they dumb it down so much it doesn't feel at all tied to its own properties, and then it gets so specific that you're so like, man, do I need to watch these 50 things beforehand? And then you're losing audience, right? So I think merging everything together will just click it in.
I think what is very good about Deadpool is that none of these tie together, but they do, right? Like they do, but they don't, right? Because you can go into any one of the 3 Deadpool movies and just be like, as long as you know Hugh Jackman was Wolverine for a long time, you get the sense that like the jokes will hit, right? Because they're like over here sobbing over Logan dying in the TVA, and you're like, okay, so this is sad. So everybody unanimously believes that this is very sad and super epic. And so then the jokes hit, right? And so I think that's what's wonderful about Deadpool. And I think that you're right. I think that the only movies you should have to watch anything prior for are the Avengers movies, but that goes without saying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think we're merging this together. We're getting rid of all of the confusing, separated properties, which is confusing as fuck.
Right.
I mean, it's if you know anything about like theme park properties or anything like that, you'll know that even Spider-Man alone is still split between Universal Studios has licensing for Spider-Man, and so does Disney, which gets even more confusing, right? So, I mean, there's a fucking storm ride in Islands of Adventure, right? But then X-Men is Disney prop. It just gets really confusing. So they're not even on the same page anywhere. But I think we're finally gonna get link by link on the same page. Anyways, now that we've deep dove into Secret Wars, consider this a Marvel special episode, basically.
Right.
Other stuff from Comic-Con, we got bits of trailers. Seriously, if you want to do a deep dive, I actually show a bunch of trailers that they released in the stream that we did.
And we'll put that in the show notes.
We'll put that link in there. So
here.
That really is a deep dive to everything. But I mean, if you know anything about what happened in Comic-Con this year, it is what Marvel has done, and what they're going to be doing going forward. Honestly, everything else feels like it's like, now that we're a week removed. Last week I could talk about everything that was released for like an hour and a half, but this week the only thing that really like is still relevant is Marvel, and their big announcement. So
yeah. Well, and like there was some DC announcements and stuff. We got the new DC logo as well, but that's pretty much and I think our first look at Creature Commandos. But that was and Superman also did wrap. Yeah. Superman also wrapped filming, so now they're in the editing room for the rest of the time.
The Creature Commandos trailer actually looks super interesting. I love the like, classic monsters feel. I actually definitely want to watch that. And if you don't know, both Louie and I are like big fans of the DC TV shows. Movies, they're figuring it out, but their TV shows have been really hitting.
They're always hitting. Yeah. I've been watching Crisis on Infinite Earths as well. The new animated movies, and so far they're good. Crisis on Infinite Earths is essentially that every Earth is dying. So multiverse shit again. And that was DC's way back then to rewrite all of everything. And so as a result, DC's New 52 happened after the normal DC, which then we were able to get like our new iterations of things. We got Court of Owls, we got like just everything just got reset essentially. And then they did that again.
I'm gonna need you to do a one shot on this because it's going so over my head. I'm gonna need you to deep dive into this.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, I actually have like 3 different copies, but yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Sure. That's there's a 3-part cartoon that you can watch right now on HBO Max if you're interested, Katie.
Oh, I actually am. Text that to me later.
Yeah.
Other stuff that came through this week, we really spent so much time. I mean, honestly, it's the most important thing, but I'm just going to real quick run through some of this stuff before we talk about what we've been watching, which is what I really care about.
Yeah.
Some leak of the Fantastic Four set.
It looks interesting. It looks like exactly as advertised.
It really does.
Yeah.
If you're going to the space. It's the 60s. Exactly what you think. Some people who care a little bit more about this than me right now might see some more details in it. Not that I don't care about Fantastic Four. The more that I see from it, the more interested I am. But I don't think I'll know how to really feel until we get an official trailer.
I have
I
an
don't know.
idea. I have a theory.
Okay, hit
I have
me.
a theory. What if? Because I was like, are they in a different multiverse, or are they like in 616? But I was thinking about it, and I was like, what if when they go to space? Because you know the whole shtick is they go to space and they like get in contact with something that like gives them superpowers. What if they go into
Right.
space into some interstellar shit? They go into space in the 60s, and they appear back in our current timeline because like
I
you know how
hope so.
Interstellar when they're like because that would be fine.
Well, because
That'd
how
be
else are they
fine.
gonna bring the whole shit right now is that, you know, another thing, it was the official announcement, we're now in our mutant era, the mutant phase of the MCU. We're folding in all X-Men
Yeah.
essentially, right? So why would it make sense for them to do this huge casting announcement of the new Fantastic Four if they would be in theory dead by the or dead or incredibly fucking old? I mean, they'd be essentially the same ages fucking Cap like in Endgame or
Right.
whatever by the time they get out. So I think you're right. I think there has to be some kind of time
Some
and
kind of like
they go in
interstellar
once
shit.
and
Yeah.
they're spit out in, you know, present day. I mean, nothing
I
else
wonder if
makes
they go to
sense, right?
battle if they see I wonder if they go to Battle World or something. Like they see it and then they somehow travel like and then they warn and that's why Reed Richards is prepared and makes this pods. Just thoughts. I don't know. We don't need to talk about this for a long time. It was just something I had
No, I mean, it's gonna
thought
come up
about.
faster than we think. Before we know it, we're gonna be
Absolutely
talking about a trailer.
watching
I
that
mean, they
shit.
already peeped some preview. Obviously, they're still filming. But peep some footage if you want to see it bootlegged. I'm sure you guys can find it somewhere. Other news, Game Informer, if that's a site that you use to keep up with video games and media news, is no longer with us. It is. I got so much news and stuff to keep up with for this channel, and just for personal use. So I just wanted to say a quick shout out. Thanks for everything you did. D23 is coming up this week. So if you're not familiar with what that is, it is essentially Disney's convention where they do all of their big announcements, okay? So
it's their Comic-Con. So I think they got us hyped with the Doctor Doom stuff. And now we got the appetizer and we're about to get the meal.
Well, the question is, they announced so much Marvel and like everybody's announced stuff last week. What is it this week? Like, how do they split up that kind of news?
I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see an updated timeline of movies coming out.
I hope so. I hope so. So we'll see if anything's moved.
I think we might see a new Spider-Man. I think we might maybe even see like a new maybe like a renaming of Blade or something, or maybe a new timeline for Blade.
Maybe a title announcement for the new Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah, or maybe we might get an Amazing Spider-Man announcement or a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man announcement.
I think they're gonna stick with Tom Holland right now, especially after No Way Home. There's so many threads loose.
I saw this is from an X account. This was a few months ago before I deleted it. Where in this account I get rumors from, and they usually are kind of right sometimes. Anyway, this account was like they're trying to petition for Amazing Spider-Man 3. They're trying to work it in.
See.
So
this is the Andrew Garfield Renaissance.
I think for sure, no matter what, we're gonna get a Spider-Man announcement. I'm pretty confident about that at this point because they've been writing and rewriting.
Andrew Garfield Renaissance. If you haven't seen this awesome trailer, oh my god, I'm blanking on the name right now, but him and Florence Pugh are doing A24 romance.
Yes, I love her.
Weird pairing, but I'm positive it'll
I'm
be
down,
fantastic.
dude. She's one of my girlies that I
know
fawn over. So,
anyways, D23.
Good.
My big prediction is I think we're either gonna get still images or a title release. We have to get something from the new Rey movie. I mean, we've known
Star
about
Wars.
it.
We're going to Star Wars.
Sorry, I'm switching over to Lucasfilms now. We have to
Yeah,
hear
yeah, yeah.
something about that. It's been forever since we had any update. I feel like they
Yeah,
have to give us something
yeah.
about that. Maybe they'll promo a new animated series
Do
or
we think
something.
we'll get something Revan related? That'd be cool.
You're
They
just saying
teased
that because
him.
you want that, and I want that. So
I
I think
do.
we'll get
I do.
maybe we'll
I don't think we
get
will, but I do
some
want
more
it.
hype for the series that's coming out in December. Maybe they'll do a panel. I don't know.
What's it called?
Uh,
Is it unnamed?
no, it's named. It's not like Below Decks. That's the Star Trek series, but it's something like the Night Crew. It's not that. What's it called? Just look it up really quickly.
Yeah.
Just type in Star Wars series December. I like feel so fake right now. I've literally seen everything for it.
Star
I'm
Wars.
Like, I'm losing
Star
it.
Wars what? Star
I
Wars
have to
what?
quit Star Wars series December Disney Plus. I'm like losing it. My job. I have to quit my jobs because they're making me too tired to remember important shit like this.
Book of Fett. No.
No.
What?
What?
What? The Mandalorian. Oh, what the
No.
frick?
Did you type in no?
Oh, I don't. Skeleton Crew. There you go.
Skeleton Crew. I told you it's like Night Crew or something. Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
So we might get
Skeleton
some
Crew.
more information on that. What I really want to happen in D23.
Andor season 3.
I don't know. Season 3. You mean
Anyway,
season
continue.
2?
Sorry, or season 2. Sorry. I don't know.
What I
I'm saying
really
ever. Don't
want
listen to
in
me.
D23, I don't know. Maybe I'm just promoting this because I want to do more theme park content on this channel. But what I really, really want, it is very geek heavy, right? There is rumor, and I guess I just think what a lot of people is pushing for is there's a huge unmarked area beyond Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Magic Kingdom that a lot of people want to become Villain Land, like a villain themed area of the park.
Interesting.
Which would be a very fun, interesting parallel to Epic Universe's new
Sure.
Dark Universe, leaning into this darker element. I mean, because that's a lot of people's big complaints is they can't meet villains. There's no character meets. I think it would bring a really fun edge. I think it would fit perfect in that park. Also talk about maybe new cruise lines, announcements like that, any new stage shows. Here's what I want, and for the sake of my father, I want them to announce that Rogers the Musical is turning full-time to Avengers Campus, and that they're finding a room for Avengers Campus in Orlando. I don't know. My dad wants Rogers the Musical to continue its life in any way possible, so I hope for him that we can have that.
Well, I hope for Caleb is gonna save the Bears. They also do that.
Me too. Anyways, other stuff. Cute little news. Wesley Snipes is now like the person who has played a Marvel character for the longest amount of time.
Yeah.
Which is a really funny record, but it's a Guinness World Record. He got a Guinness record for this, which is adorable. New Lego sets coming out. Animal Crossing, Lego Botanicals, cool stuff. Sarlacc Pit from Return of the Jedi is coming out.
I was gonna say, when do we cover Lego releases? That's fine with me. I just think it's funny that we're doing this now.
I just felt like it was geek news. It's kind of a dry week aside from because we're sandwiched between conventions. So, new games out this month.
We are.
Honestly, I don't care about any of them. Maybe that's a hot take.
No, and like even
Star
Wars
Wars
Outlaws,
games.
like I'm like both of them. I'm kind of just like I don't care.
Like make me care about it. Make me care about it.
I don't care. I don't care.
I know. Anyways, what have you been watching, reading, listening to right now, Louis?
So, as
week
of
on
8/6/2024,
yes,
this week on screens, which is, I guess, what we're watching on our screens or doing on our screens.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been reading, and actually, after 10 long years, it has finally come to an end as of Sunday this week. My Hero Academia officially has ended forever.
Like permanently?
Permanently, the story has concluded because it's done. Story's over.
Do you feel satisfied?
They beat the bad. No, I do not. I did not like the ending. I did not like the ending. I mean, okay, I was talking to somebody about this, but without getting too deep into it, right? Because I feel like this can be this will probably be my one shot this week. Without getting too deep into it, it wasn't as bad as the Attack on Titan ending. I'll say that for sure. However, I was not happy about it. I was reading online that a bunch of people liked it. I'm like, really? Are you serious? Like so we are regressing. He regressed by the end of it. And for what? Because he was like, "Oh, even you too can be a hero." I'm like, "Fuck you. Fuck you." Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm sorry, Katie, that means absolutely nothing to you. However, I don't like
no. It's not that it
Yeah.
means nothing to me. It's important to me because it's important to you, Louis. That's what
I'm
friendship's all
glad.
about.
Anyway, I hated it. And
And I'll
obviously
watch
been
your
reading
happily.
been
I have
reading
not watched
Jujutsu
your
Kaisen, of
Jujutsu
course.
Kaisen one shot.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
watching it because I am watching the show. So I do not want to get any spoilers.
I mean, there's honestly not a lot. There's not really spoilers.
But you know how I am
that.
about spoilers.
I mean, the most spoiler thing I say is that fucking Gojo beats up a character that you knew he was gonna beat up anyway.
Wow!
Wow!
No, okay,
Gojo beating somebody up? Oh my god! I didn't know it was possible. So yeah, I've been reading JJK and then watching, like I said earlier, Crisis on Infinite Earths movies that came out. And I mean that's about it, man, for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Deadpool Wolverine twice, but that's about that's other than
I
that.
also saw Deadpool and Wolverine was the last movie I saw in theaters. By this time next week, I probably will have seen M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. Will I like it? We'll have to find out, guys. We're gonna have to find out. You'll have to find out.
On next week's This Week on Screens.
I just watched Long Legs too. And if you want, by now, my one shot about it is already out.
It will be out in 30 minutes right now. But anyway.
So hopefully you've already watched it. LOL. Watching TV shows. I'm watching Band of Brothers. First time watching this limited series. Andrew is one of his favorites. Oh my god, the cast is stacked. Historical drama, not really what I lean towards a lot of the time. But this is awesome. It's really good. And I'll have to dive back into why miniseries are so bingeable sometime soon with that. Reading.
Right, yeah.
Reading, I've just been rereading The Boys. Comics.
Also that noise, I don't know if my mic picked it up, but it sounded like a fart, but I was just like,
yeah, sure. That's why you have this marker, just in case you fart. You're like, oh guys, it's a marker I was twisting.
Yeah, you know what, Katie's right. I just shit myself, so we have to wrap this up now.
Exactly. But yeah.
But cool.
Yeah, good stuff. I've been
good shit, dude.
Shout out listening to For Your Amusement podcast with Ryan Bergara of Ghost Files and Byron Merlin. About theme park attraction deep dives, if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, anyways,
cool,
I was gonna have a new segment. I think we'll save it for another week. I think we'll save that whole segment for another week.
I mean,
why
I was
not?
Prepared, but that's fine.
You're prepared?
That's fine.
No,
we'll
Louis,
save
tell
it.
me.
I mean,
no.
I hate you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tune in next time. We're gonna have to tune in next time.
Oh god,
this is our Marvel episode. I want to make sure that you got your Marvel fill.
No, yeah, this is definitely a Marvel episode, and I'm excited to see what D23 brings because I think that'll be a Star Wars Marvel episode once D23.
I will probably be going live Sunday to talk about it. So if you're watching this on Saturday, you want to get your news fill. You know where to find me.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Alrighty, where can people find you, Katie?
Real Slim Katie 25 on TikTok, Letterboxd, and Instagram, but mostly on here on Geek Gourmet. What about you?
I have the Lou D-O-double-G over on Instagram, TikTok, X, and my anime list, where I'm updating the animes I'm watching as I watch them.
Yeah,
I don't know if
and
I
I
talked about this
totally.
last time, but I am watching Kaiju number 8. I finished it.
You did. You did.
The
You
season.
mentioned.
Okay.
You liked it?
Okay. That was like the last
You
anime
liked
I
it?
watched. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Good
That's
vibes.
all, folks.
Yeah. That's all, folks. Please, please, somebody give us a slogan in the comments. I know I say it all the time, but God, please, somebody help us get a slogan.
Yeah, and something I'd like to point out too is if you cannot support this podcast monetarily, which actually we have Podcast Plus on the podcatchers and stuff. So if you want
That's
to donate
true.
$1, whatever, there's some special things for you in there. If you wanted to donate, we'll give you a Discord a little like role if you join the Discord and that sort of thing. But yeah, you can support. I believe you can put like $1, $3, and $5 and or $5 if you wanted to do it monthly or just a one-time thing. I think that's an option as well.
Heard.
But anyways, if you can't support the podcast monetarily, the best way you can help support us is by subscribing. It's by liking, by sharing. It's a liking and is a very easy thing that you can do to help
Right.
push us in the algorithm. No matter where it is, whether it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, Apple, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, if you're on a podcatcher like Apple Podcasts, like Spotify, give us a review. That's also going to help push us in our category that we are in.
Which is
just wanted to say
silly
that out
little
loud because
guys.
I feel like we don't say that really on the
I
podcast,
know.
but we should remember to say that. So
Please support
anyways,
us and love us. If you like what we do, supporting us like that can help us do this more full time. So yeah. Yeehaw.
as always, remember
Stay
to keep your
dry.
gourmets.
Put on clean underpants and keep your inks gourmet.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.